Hi, my name is Jennifer Sosa. Today I'll be talking about toxic families and culture. I will be talking with you about gender, media, race, and violence. Family dysfunction is one of the factors for crime and violence. When it comes to gender minority groups, such as African Americans and Hispanics, are more likely to begin becoming violent or start doing crimes. Kids growing up in these minority groups are more exposed to situations that can make them grow up aggressive and violent. Those types of families can be more toxic because the parents tend to argue more and they do so in front of the children. They grow up believing that it is okay. Those families tend to bring those kids down and ruin their dreams. In these broken homes, these parents tend to be drug abusers, and sometimes the father is abusive, and the children see that and grow up to be abusive and aggressive towards others. The media can also influence these young adults in many negative ways, such as boys cannot be weak or emotional. Boys need to grow up strong and show no emotions, or they will be considered weak. Also, in many movies and TV shows, they have a man who is abusive and aggressive. Seeing that at a young age, they may believe it's acceptable. Violence is something that a person can also learn throughout their childhood and adolescence life. There are a number of ways that violence can be learned, such as watching TV shows or movies that show violence or acts of crime. Through any number of social media networks, even violent video games, violence can also be learned by those closest to you as well, such as your family members or friends. You can grow up exposed to violence and have your friends peer pressure you into doing some small crimes, such as stealing from a store. This culture that we live in is the problem as well. Our culture brainwashes young men that they need to be tough, intimidating, and strong. Culture in media shows Latinos as criminals, boxers who are tough, or just tough guys in the barrio. They show African American males as drug dealers. The media shows male dominance as a social norm. According to an article on violence and media, 85% of men are murderers, or will be most likely to commit a murder. 90% of men will commit some type of violent assault. 95% of men will commit domestic violence. Only 15% of women will most likely commit murder, but only because they are using it as self-defense. The culture shows boys and young men that they have to put on a mask or put up an act of a tough guy. Our culture expects these boys to be this way. This is true for every race or social group. This is a lot of pressure put on these young boys. Because of this culture, these boys have to put up this front or they'll get bullied by other young boys. Many male violence is male on male. Males are more violent with other males than they are with women. It will take a lot of work, but we can change this by getting media and institutions to change the way they perceive men. Women also need to stop being attracted to the whole tough guy facade and need to help show them that they prefer the nice guy, not a tough guy. The media also has to change the way they perceive races, such as having African Americans as drug dealers and murderers, Latinos as low-class criminals or thugs in the barrios, and Caucasian as the wealthy and elite. If this doesn't change, our young men will continue with this facade and the violence will continue.